All right, on this Friday morning, we are joined by Tracy Spear and Al Rickerson. I have no idea why, but they're here. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. The big Oil Creek Classic fly fishing tournament benefiting the Rotary Club of Titusville is coming up just now days away. Looking at next weekend, May 4th through the 6th. Hi, guys. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
You guys excited? This is, I can't believe it's this time of year.
Hey, listen, you say just days away. Can't you see that my hair stand up on my head?
It looks good, though, Al. It looks so good, man. Buddy. All right, let's rewind a little bit before we talk about next week's event. Al, you've been on before. Tracy, have you been on before with Al? Yeah. It's talk about the Oil Creek Classic.
Well, it started. We started 5 years ago. It started as a fundraiser for our local Rotary Club, and we did that so we can bring some attention to our area, fly fishing. We wanted to do a different type of fundraiser, and most certainly was a different type of fundraiser. And over the years, it's grown just a little bit bigger and bigger every year.
Al, this is a great story. Kind of talk about how you got involved with fly fishing.
Oh, my son Armand. He used to like to fish after school when he was in middle school. And so he told me one day, he said, Dad, I want to learn how to fly fish. And I'm like, really? To myself? Because I'm thinking about the expense of it all. So one day I looked at him walking across the stream. I'm like, okay, he is good at this stuff. So for my birthday, my wife gifted me and Armand going up to the Bradford Fly Fishing School, which is what I'm wearing today, the Kinsville Fly Fisherman. So after that, that's how we got into it. That's how we bonded.
Tracy, do you fish at all?
No, I do not.
You do not?
I used to. But
so Al brings this idea to you. He goes, boy, I'm really getting into this. I think this would be a great fundraiser. And you guys all stared at him and said, all right, let's do it.
The first year we were gung-ho, and we only had one team. And we had all of these great
and we
prizes.
owed them everything.
And then, sometimes that's what it takes just to get started.
Sure.
You know?
Right. We are a little surprised, disappointed that some of those anglers didn't return, because now, it's really become more of a competition, But at the same time, you can vie for pretty good prizes for a pretty small registration fee. But, we really thought it would take on a little better than it did. And
yeah, actually.
I'll let Al talk about the NFFF.
That's 3 years ago, a friend of mine contacted me, Nick Bell, and he said, Al, you're giving the Oil Creek classes, can pros enter? I'm like, well, they can't be in there with the amateurs. So we created a whole different division for them. And the reason why we did that is because, and they began to use that as a qualifier for Team USA, the fly fishing unit for the Team USA out there in Colorado. It worked out pretty good. Last year, of course, we had the rain out, and that's when we got a lot more youth. And so we have 3 well-run units. We have our pros. They're going to be at Justice Lake Petroleum Center this year, and we have our amateur adults, and we have the youth, the local youth here. We love it because every division something's different.
Well, and let's kind of, I guess, get into the specifics of this. Again, the event's going on May 4th through the 6th. So what's the community part of this? Can they come down and watch? Can they get involved with other things? What do you have going on?
Well, the 4th is our meet and greet registration night. The anglers come, they get their registration packets, which include everything they will need for fishing the next day. Saturday, there's, the anglers are out doing their things. We have the controllers out with the amateurs and the youth. The pros they pretty much guide themselves. We will have somebody at 2 Mile overseeing that. We will have a person at Oil Creek State Park as well. But that way we can concentrate on the youth and the amateur. And Terry Peterson, he is our head controller, if you will, and he has a very large passion for fly fishing and youth particularly. He really enjoys getting out there and helping the youth, explaining to them, if you don't catch a fish, it doesn't matter. You've learned this, you've learned this, you've learned this. You can take that out with you the next time you go. So yeah, Saturday, we kind of, there are a lot of families with the pros. There are a lot of people, that want to come and watch their kids release the trout from middle school. We have parents from middle school, parents from the pros, families of the pros that can kind of merge together at Drake Well and watch the different fly casting exhibitions and stuff like that. So
I'll talk about Oil Creek in itself. What makes this attractive to pros? We know, obviously, if you're a first-time fly fisherman or woman, or you're not a pro, it's a nice place to be. But
Sure.
for the professionals, what do they love about this part of the country?
Well, first of all, Oil Creek is one of the better streams in this part of the state and I think in the country for fly fishing because, first of all, it's stocked. Secondly, it's because of the oil because the oil industry, something happened to the stream. When they stopped running oil barrels down the stream for the oil industry, commercial industry, something happened to the water, and it's a great place for fish to be. And we stock it. This year we also have we put some lunkers in there as well. So a lot of people come here just to fish. It's one of the jewels of our area. If you like to do things that are outdoors. I met somebody, you had mentioned you knew somebody from Great Britain. Well, I met somebody from Great Britain also down there fishing one time. So, a lot of people in the know, a lot of fly fishing anglers in the know about Oil Creek.
What's some of the feedback you get from these folks after, coming here for the first time and fishing down at Oil Creek?
They love it because one thing, our club, we make things very hospitable for them. And you have to realize that most of these things are given around, and at least in this state, these guys go out in the middle of the woods, sleep in their cars, and fish their different beats. So here, we welcome into our town. We make sure they get adequate lodging. We feed them. We register and do things of that nature. So they like that. So and that's why they talk it up. When they go to other tourneys.
Tracy. There's a community day and festival events. Talk about some of the events going on.
The events, we have different little games for the kids. The kids can, win prizes. They're probably not quite as interested in the tying and casting as maybe their older siblings, but we have neat little things. We're hopefully going to have face painting this year. That's Kelly Davis, right? We've got to talk with Kelly and see what other ideas she has. I know it's getting down, but we're busy working out logistics, making sure every pro has a boat and an oar.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they're going to fly fish out of a boat, but that's like I said, that's the pro thing.
Yeah.
So that's their
They like
problem.
the challenge.
Yeah. But it's nice. I mean, there are a lot of people, especially when the middle school releases their trout. Like I said, a lot of their parents are there with younger siblings, so it gives everybody something to do, maybe.
So if folks want to come and watch or take part, where would they go? They go down to Drake Well?
Just Drake Well, yeah, right straight back to the last pavilion.
All right, and then they can just enjoy the activities for the day. Mm-hmm. Is it too late to get involved in the event, Al?
No, we always need controllers. We always need different people volunteering because, that day is going to be kind of crazy anyway. As much as you can always plan for these things, something unexpected always happens.
Right. And we do need a controller per 2 anglers. For each pair of anglers, we need 1 controller. So it helps if we know who's going to be registered so that we can have that beforehand so Al doesn't have to run out in his flip-flops.
So, I mean, is the competition quite fierce where you need to have somebody there to just kind of keep track of things?
Let me clear that up.
Yeah.
It's more of a fly fishing festival for the amateur side. Okay, even though we give out prizes and things of that nature and have a first, second, and third, it's more of a festival, just a day of fishing for the amateur side. Because fly fishing in and of itself is not a very competitive sport. It's not like a football, basketball, or golf. But and that's what we really want to have. Now, a lot of experienced anglers in this area, we would love for them to come out there and teach to you, because that's how you learn things. Somebody introduces you to them, okay? And fly fishing is not something that you could just learn in a day. Now, for our adult anglers, we attract people from outside the area, and it gives us a chance to show off the area, show off our site, because we have a museum on site, we have a railroad on site. The railroad might not be working that day, but in the future, we might, if we get enough people, we might can do that, So on the adult side, we don't like to emphasize that as much. It is not really like that. Everybody's out there fellowshipping. Yeah, they want to catch some fish. And sometimes, the way the fish are biting or different things, things happen. Now, on the pro side, not so much, because these guys are used to catching fish, and they have different kinds of ways of doing it. There's no barb hooks involved. It's all catch and release, and so it's a little bit different.
Coming up on 8:20 here, this is the Morning Drill on Stream Television, Armstrong, and the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network. On the professional side, Al, would people recognize some of the folks who are coming?
Well, unless you have them in your family or things of that nature, been following it, they might recognize them, or follow Team USA, and that's John Knight's crew out there in Colorado. You might recognize them, but
some of these people have been on television and shows, correct?
Oh yes, as they've been on television, they've been on shows, they've been competing overseas under the Team USA banner, so they're pretty good. You have Nick Bell, you have Pat Weiss, people of that nature, and you have the younger guys too, the youth fly fishing crew. So they've come through our area as well. Now,
Tracy, on the Rotary side, obviously there's fees that people are going to be paying to take part in this. What happens to the money? What does Rotary do with it?
Well, we rely heavily on our sponsors more than the registration fees. Last year, actually, the anglers were kind enough to donate the registration fees for the Wallops Island trip. Every other year we have the Ticeville Middle School taking the Wallops Island trip to Chincoteague, which is an ecological study. And then the following year, we have the Interactors going to Ecuador on a mission trip, which, last year was the first year for that. So this is what we hope to contribute to, and we hope to be able to increase that. We have a lot of other programs that we donate. We have scholarships for the students for various reasons. We have RILA, we have ROVA, we have the scholarships for the seniors. We have.
Why don't you explain what RILA and ROVA is? Because you and I know those acronyms, but the public might not know that.
RILA, it's a Rotary Youth Leadership program, and there are several colleges. Westminster, yeah, that will sometimes offer kids a free ride if they as a full scholarship if they've attended RILA, and. Not enough parents know that, and we've been trying to. We have added 2 additional scholarships on our RILA scholarship program. We do a lot of things for the students, and that's what it's all about. And this year we became a 501c3, which allows us to, apply for additional grants and get additional monies for any of those scholarships.
So that's pretty helpful to some families. If they knew about this.
Oh yeah, I would think so. College is very expensive.
Yeah. Last year, weather-wise, some things had to change up a bit, but we just saw the footage of the kids, the students from the middle school down there, and it was a beautiful day. I think your rain date ended up being beautiful, but Al, what kind of feedback do you get from those students? Because it looked like they were having a blast down there.
First of all, let me give a shout out to Mike Reynolds and the science teacher at the middle school. He and his colleagues do a remarkable job. And again, we connected with him because he came and spoke to Rotary. And I was like, trout, Oil Creek Classic. Okay, we can connect that. So what happens is that the kids are excited. They come down, they grow the trout in the classroom all year long. And, the trout that might not be 16 inches, but they come out there, release it. The parents come out there, see them do that. And Mike, he teaches on the spot. He teaches them everything, a lot of things all the time. So he's out there with his colleagues, and it's a great deal. I mean, the kids, they do some presentations, and I have some old footage of kids doing presentations, and that learns teaches them how to speak in public.
Tracy, it takes a lot of people to put on an event like this. So there's other Rotarians that obviously have to be involved with this.
Yes, and I've got to get a few more involved in a few more things next year, because it's too hard to think of everything, and I just automatically go to Al, and Al automatically comes to me. But next year we claim every year we're going to have chairs, but we never do. But this year we do have Kelly Davis. She is on the games, and that is going to be her baby. But Al and I have so much to do to prepare. I mean, I have to order prizes. I have to think of every level now, because we have 3 different levels. And you have to get this stuff ordered way ahead of time. And
we're not complaining. I mean, you want to grow in any endeavor that you do.
But every year something happens, and it's like, okay, we need to fine tune this. Okay, we need to fine tune this, and we always come up with, okay, we need a committee. We need a committee. We need a chair, and
sometimes we can get them. Sometimes not.
It's you too, yeah. Well, so but I would imagine, whether it's talking to sponsors or community members or the kids, that people are saying to you once they experience this, it was kind of like me after actually experiencing it last year. It was like, this is quite amazing. This is going to become quite the treasure to have in this community or this region. Are you getting that same sort of feedback? Like, even though you had the one team the first year, you guys obviously saw that this could be something special. We need to keep doing this.
Oh yeah. We love it. We've gotten a lot of great feedback, not only from the pros, but from parents of the kids that deal with the at the middle school. And also shout out to Karen Jez, our superintendent, who commandeered the educational committee, which was very easy for her. And
she's a Rotarian, correct?
Yes, she is. And to Chris Feely, who's our food and hospitality guy, because any question about food and hospitality, I said, I don't even think about that. Go talk to Chris. So, we've had people from the very beginning, but now it's getting to a point that, you have to do some fine tuning. You got to do more media exposure, like, not only through here, but through print and maybe through some fly fishing media. So things change for you to grow.
Now, I think registration's open clear back in February.
Yes.
So were you thinking back then, this is just the beginning, we got some time to get some things taken care of, and then, blink, and here you are?
We have the spaghetti dinner in February, and then it's like, we'll just wait until that's done, and then we'll get started on the OCC. And
I was like, yeah.
Well, we have things that are in place, like, okay, we're getting the paperwork done, we're getting this stuff done. But because, our Rotary Clubbers don't have hundreds of members, we're always multitasking anyway.
Right.
And I've learned to do that. But then we're like, okay, now we get down to the real nitty-gritty of this stuff after the spaghetti dinner. And it's always an adventure. Kind of like Indiana Jones, like, the shirt I'm wearing today.
He's got the hat. I knew it. I knew it was coming out.
That's exactly why I said that.
Al, you might not have 100 members. If somebody is listening or watching and they say, boy, you guys are doing great things, I'd love to be a part of that. How do they become a Rotarian?
Well, first of all, we always are trying to invite our prospective members or perspectives to our lunch. We give it every Tuesday at the Town Square, second floor, at 12 o'clock. We eat lunch between 12 and 12:30, and then between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, we always have a program, or like to try to have a program. So, usually we invite somebody up, a Rotarian invite somebody up, and if they're interested, we'll definitely give them some pamphlets, some literature for them to read. So that's how we do it.
Yeah, now, I want to keep talking about the Oil Creek Classic before we wrap things up, so we may have to cut your you were prepared to tell us why Rotary is better than Kiwanis, but we'll hold off on that a little bit.
I think Bruce Peterson might have a heart attack over there.
He's smiling.
He's smiling.
So let's recap here. The Oil Creek Classic, May 4th through the 6th. So that's coming up a week away.
Yep.
A week away. What can folks do to take part in this? Whether to take part, well, I guess as a fly fisherman or just a participant?
If you don't want to fish, come down Saturday and see what it's all about. You can at least experience some of the youth or amateurs fishing. Just see how things are, how we do things.
Nice.
And of course, if you haven't ever seen a professional fly fishing contest, you can come down to Petroleum Center or Justice Lake at 2 Mile Run, because 2 Mile Run is going to be where we have the boats in the water, and a lot of people haven't seen that before. You know, if you follow this stuff, you do this stuff. You watch it in Colorado. It's different. It's different. I've seen it before, but this is the first time that we've introduced it here, and we did it kind of reluctantly, because what it was always says is, Al, if Justice Lake was in Europe, we'd be in some type of national event. I'm like, really? So. We have great natural resources to do this.
So that also kind of spreads you guys a little bit this year.
Yes,
too.
it does. But we might get some help from maybe the oil city Rotarians. I don't know. We don't know how it's going to go, but we're out there.
All right, guys. If folks want more information, they check out the schedule. They can go on Facebook.
Yes, go on Facebook on the Oil Creek Classic. I haven't been posting as much stuff as I should be, because I'm running around doing other things. Yes, I'm the administrator of a Facebook page.
All right, so facebook.com/Oil Creek Classic. You can also visit TitusvilleRotary.org to find out more on the Oil Creek Classic happening a week from now. Guys, thank you so much.
You.
Tracy,
Yeah,
good to see you. 8:30, we have Mr. Sports, Bruce Peterson, coming up.